Hey,
Hey,
y'all.
ladies.
Hey.
Lex, welcome for the join this time.
Welcome back.
Hey. I miss you, Ty. I ain't miss them too.
Welcome back this time, girl. Welcome back. We missed you last time.
Quarantine and Zoom.
Yeah.
Quarantine and chill.
This is what the new life is going to be like.
New norm.
What's going on, ladies? So, y'all. So I don't know. We didn't discuss it, but me and Isha yesterday we were looking at the Joe Budden podcast and
Episode 320.
and they were talking about one of their friends or somebody that they know that's being accused of rape.
Yeah.
So anyway, during that whole process, we were talking about, women, making false accusations about guys raping them or doing stuff to them because possibly, they may be salty because they broke it off with them or they don't want to deal with them. What y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like that? I mean, we all know that that's possible and people do it, but
I think it kind of makes it hard for real life victims, because now these situations are happening more frequently, and so the real life victims pretty much are getting judged by something that really happened to them.
Or backlash.
Yeah, based on these particular situations, and which is sad, and it's kind of hard because for a woman, you can't really judge. It's like you don't want to be the person to judge to say if something happened to another woman. But with this stuff going on so frequent, women are doing it. A lot of women are doing it, and it's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, okay, so my first question is, if something happened to you, why does it take so long for you to speak out? Like,
yeah, but then again, sometimes some women are terrified that much that they don't speak out. Think about it, children, women. It's women that have grown up and from little kids and made it to their adulthood, and things happened to them when they were children, and they never shared it. So it's like different situations for different situations.
yeah, no, I get that. But I'm saying, so me and Jerome was talking about this too. It's like, what makes you, like, why does someone else have to say so-and-so did XYZ to me before you be like, you know what? He did that to me too. Because it could also be like Tan said, like somebody is salty. So you can call your best or your friend from down the street and be like, girl, let's link up and say he did this. And then, you know what I'm saying? You get your little 30 minutes of fame. So it's just like, you really know. I mean, which is none of our business, and who is it to judge? But it's just like, why you wait years later to say something? I don't know.
I don't think some of their plan is to wait years. I think they're like really traumatized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It takes a long time. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I feel like this is my take on it, and I don't want anybody to feel offended by it or whatever, but I feel like after a certain amount of time that something like that occur, it should be like a cutoff time. Like after years of years that went past, and it's prime example, the Bill Cosby situation.
That's true. But at the same time,
years that went past, and then all of these women now coming out saying, "Oh, he raped me, he did this, he did that." So, like, what was it to make y'all come out now to say it that you didn't want to say it back then when it really occurred? Like, that's my whole thing.
Can you really put a time or something like that?
You can.
You can.
Hey, you gotta. We gotta
You
think.
can't.
We as women gotta think like that too. Come on. Each situation tears you up differently, and you can't really. Who are we to judge when somebody can express?
No, we're not
something?
judging. I'm just trying to figure out like how. Well, I'm not trying to figure it out because again, everybody process is different. But when something happens to me, I want to talk about it right then and there. I'm trying to get it like, yeah, like. So something to that extent, why?
But I think it's
why do you
easier
hold that
said
in? Does
than
that
done.
feel? Does that make like? I feel like when you express yourself, you are able to like talk about it and like you can get help and things like that.
That
But when you
also
hold
comes
it
from your
in,
upbringing as well. If you wasn't in a vocal childhood home where you could talk about stuff, then you're not going to do it at all. You're going to hold it in.
I cry too much to hold anything in.
And not everybody is created like that. Some people battle their demons being quiet. It's
Yeah.
not healthy. It's not
Right.
healthy, but that's how they do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, even with what Tan said about putting a time stamp on it, it's like, but honestly, I feel like you got to be in those shoes in order to be able to say something. You know what I'm saying? Say
Of
that.
course. Yeah.
Because coming from us, if we not in those shoes, it seems easier said than done. Like, oh, well, you need this. You should have said this. You should have did that. Why you ain't say it? But then actually being that person, we can't even say that we would do that.
Right. Because you don't know how you're gonna react to a situation until you're in it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's true, and it definitely makes sense. But I mean, I guess I still, everybody, you know, they got their own views on it and stuff, because, you know, stuff can happen to people when they're little kids and then they don't know how to express it, and then they wait until they get older and say, well, something could have happened to them when they were 8 and they don't want to tell anybody, but they're like, well, when I get 20, I'm going to tell everything because I'll be big enough to, you know, be able to tell people.
Your sound went out, Tan.
She stay up talking. Tan,
Sis, we can't hear you, sis.
we can't hear you.
Oh, y'all can't hear me at all?
We can hear you.
Did you mute us?
My
Okay.
son, they keep yelling on this Fortnite, getting on my nerves.
This ponytail was puffy.
Tell them close the door.
But no, I just think that it just goes with so many different, I mean, standpoints. Like, I just feel like that after 20 years after 20 years that went past, I feel like that you really, the person that got away with it for 20 years, so like now they 70 and you about to put them in jail. You know what I'm saying? That's how
Okay, we say that. Okay, but think about it this way. What if it's your child? What if your child wait until they 20 years to tell you something happened? Ain't you gonna want that person, no matter how many years went by, ain't you gonna want that person penalized for what they did to your child?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, but at 70,
get it,
like you
I
done
get
lived
it.
your life.
right. You done got to enjoy every single thing in your, like, you hurt my child or hurt me, and then you got to go on throughout your whole life and enjoy it. And now at 7, now that you're 70 years old, I'm gonna come out and say, oh, Uncle so and so or cousin so and so or that guy, you know what I'm saying? He did this to me or did this to my child, and now it's like, oh, well.
And your last day is gonna be hell, sir, because you're
But
going to
did they
jail.
really enjoy it? Just because it looks like they enjoyed their life, did they really enjoy it? Karma is something else. We don't know what they was battling when we didn't see them.
And people know how to hide misery, sis. They know how to hide it.
And then I don't know. I just feel, I understand with everybody. I understand the whole point. Like, I just feel like that after some time, it's like, you know, what is it that you really, what really can be done. Like, are you going to feel comfortable that this person got locked up now after they done had their whole life and and I understand that everybody deal with stuff differently. Their conscience probably did eat them up the whole entire time, if it was true or false, because you get so many different cases where people come out and say stuff and then it's false and people get locked up and go to jail for that type of stuff. But I just feel like it should definitely be some type of cutoff, something. Because that would, if you do that, you would give people, people would come out more and start talking sooner. I think they would come out sooner and tell stuff.
I don't think so.
Not at all.
Because putting a time frame on it seemed like putting a time frame on it is already questioning their truth. So it's gonna be harder for them to come out if somebody's saying, "Oh well, if you ain't come out 10 years ago, then why you come out now?" I don't think it'll change the fact or make it so they'll talk quicker or sooner or nothing like that. I don't think that would affect it.
Throw the whole Fortnite in the trash.
Hey, man.
This is the quarantine life at home with the kiddo.
You need to go in your closet, Tan. But you can't. Again, you can't tell anybody how to react off of a situation that's traumatic for them. So, I guess we will never know. My whole question was, I always in the back of my mind wondered, like, why does someone have to come out? Like, say for instance, something happened to two of us, but I hold it in for 10 years, but you decide to tell it as soon as it happened, then I'd be like, oh yeah, he did that to me too. Like, that's the part I don't.
So, right, like, why do it take? But
some people
get extra
feel better with the force. Yeah, some people are better with forces. So versus being solo, I'm not gonna be the only person to say it. But if this happened to this person right here, I feel a bit more comfortable because we got something in common. So both of us can go share now.
Absolutely.
That's how some people look at it too. It's tough. It's definitely tough, but I don't agree with how the lies and how some women tear men characters down. When it comes to situations like that. Think about Black athletes, just
entertainers.
Yes, entertainment industry, all of that stuff. Those are like key targets for it. But from the outside looking in, it's like.
And then what about the ones who like sending the wrong signals, and then this man make a pass on you, and then you scream, he harassed me? Like,
so what's the wrong signal?
That's a good question. Okay, so like in that situation, when I was reading her story, I don't know them personally. I don't know, but it was like she was an intern, which means that she had been around this person. No, this wasn't the first time she was around this person, as she was an intern, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like he wanted a hug or whatever, and then he hugged her, I guess, I'm assuming sideways. That's the way she told the story. And she had on a crop top, and he lifted the crop top.
Mm.
So my question is, so there's never a point that you've been in a room and he flirted with you or made you feel uncomfortable? Because if a guy make me feel uncomfortable or flirt to me to an extent where, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't put myself in a position to be uncomfortable. So there were no flags there for you, and you still went in for a hug with a crop top on?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that he had the right to do that to her, because that's per violation. But it's just like, sometimes we have to I don't want to say the wrong things and people like look at me wrong or be offended, but like as a woman, sometimes you could just prevent things from happening. You know?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that women do that is misleading. But like you said, nothing that a woman does ever give the man the right to do
To violate her.
anything
Right.
to violate her, right?
Right.
But I do agree with it's a lot of stuff that women do that is very misleading.
And then you get upset when people say stuff like you on Instagram twerking and little teeny shorts, butt all out, but you want to get mad because everybody DM you talking about they want fuck or they try and hit the joint, you know what I'm saying, or can they come over? But you gonna get mad and start backlashing. Oh, this nigga anything he in my DM doing this, that, and the foot. But bitch, whole time you was out there twerking with these little shorts on Instagram.
Yeah.
What type of reaction did you expect to get?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
you
it's
going
so funny.
okay?
No, because it makes me so angry because it's like, and no, I'm not bashing the women. Of course, I'm a woman, but it's like, in situations like the men always get, the shorter end of the stick because they react, but a man will react based off of how sometimes
Carry yourself.
you carry it. Exactly.
That's true.
And then people want to be mad because, so you mean to tell me that this chick had no idea that this dude possibly was, attracted to her, made any anything. He never made it known to you, or you never felt like, oh, he's probably interested in me and stuff. Clearly, I had to be some type of close or cool for you to even reach in and be giving a hug. I'm sorry, I don't go around giving random people hugs.
Well, I don't think he was random. That's the thing. Like,
She was an intern, right?
he was an intern, so I guess it was like a coworker type of hug. So that's why I said that doesn't give him the right to violate her. But what I'm saying was, were there any flags missed prior to that situation? Like, had he ever flirted with you? Have he ever said the wrong thing to you that made you feel uncomfortable or made you even feel like he liked you? Because I'm sure she didn't know that he would go that far. But it's like, when you are put in a situation where he liked you and you're not attracted to him in any way or form, don't even give him that leeway. Like, why are you even going there for a hug as an intern? Like, no, here you go, have a nice day, or good morning.
Why are we hugging and we working together?
Exactly. That's my whole thing. Like, we work together. I don't need to give you no hug.
That's more of a handshake type atmosphere. Hugging.
I don't know if I ever hugged someone.
So
I think I've hugged people that I worked
with.
Before the pandemic. I think it's more elbows now, but
no, but I just can't, like, I see guys, I work around men all the time. I supervise men, and I even have a staff who comes in. I have a staff who tries to, he'll try to give me a hug, but I'm like, hold up. What's up? Give me elbows. But no, I work around a lot of men and I just don't see myself, hugging them. And it's even people that I know that there's no type of, that's not attracted to me, or there's no type of attraction. Even if we just cool and we're just cool coworkers, I'm still not going to give you a hug.
Yeah.
But this just opened my eyes. I just see it in a whole different light now, because again, we can give, well, you don't, obviously you're not a hugger, but maybe we just, I could sometimes be misleading, I never looked at it, and because I'm sure I've hugged, I hug people, I'm a hugger. Bring it in. But so, I don't know. This made me definitely look at it in a different light, because we can definitely be misleading or send the wrong signals, or
your camera on mute, Tan.
I'm sorry, I was yelling at the Fortnite player.
So Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
No, I understand what you're saying though, Isha. It do make you look different, look at people differently and all that. So like, because I'm like, sometimes everybody interprets stuff differently. So what somebody may feel like that you're flirting with them, and you may feel like, well, I wasn't flirting with him. You know what I'm saying? Right. He might have took it as in, oh, she into me. I need to holler at her, and then he come and holler at you and make a pass, and you like, You put a ring on it.
Like, what you doing? Yeah.
I understand it though, but
okay, so back to the podcast. So basically, people are backlashing the guy that's the friend. So apparently, they don't want him to be associated with this guy who has the accusation on him because he has so much to lose. So what do you think about that? Like, I shouldn't, because he's trying to get the guy help if he needs help, because I don't think that they think that he harassed her or raped her or whatever the case may be. But he is apparently aggressive towards women. Not like abusive, but aggressive. So the friend is trying to get him help if he needs help. The friend is trying to get him help if he needs help or whatever. So how do you feel about that? Like, if I did something wrong that you don't agree with, which is okay because we all, agree on that. Would that make you not be affiliated with me?
Not at all.
I mean,
I guess it depends on the situation.
I guess it depends on the situation, because like me knowing, okay, so the guy, he already has like, oh, well, he's very aggressive towards women. I'm going to be like, well, is it possible that you could have done it? And I understand when people go through stuff, they need their friends and all of that. So deep down, what type of person that your friend is and all that. So, and people do make, some bad decisions. And then the result of it is they lose, people that's really close to them or that would be there for them. But it's like, you don't know the truth. But that's your friend, and it's like, do you support them or do you back away from them? But it's like you back away from them, and then it wasn't true. You lost the friendship because your friend gonna be like, oh, well, you wasn't there for me. You didn't.
When I needed you most.
When I needed you, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard. Now, I think that personally, I would still be there for my friend, but when it comes into a situation, if they say, oh, it's true, and the person did do this, I think that it would definitely hurt me because I believe that my friend wasn't capable of doing something like that. And I think that it would definitely put a toll on the friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would probably back away from the person after that. But I think that I would be there to support them through the process. And if it ended up being that they did do that, then I would have to back away, because it's like, do you really want to associate yourself with a known rapist or somebody that raped somebody?
They really didn't do it and they was convicted anyway. Who's to say that they didn't do it when they was convicted? If they were convicted, that they did it when they were convicted, that they didn't do it.
That's true too.
Me personally, I'm gonna be your friend no matter what. If it's not affecting how I eat or provide for my family, then I'll be your friend.
And I think that was a part of the thing, but a part of the whole situation, because of course it's Joe's podcast, but he also has sponsorships like through Spotify and Facebook, I want to say. You got to watch the episode, but so, it was a trickling down effect. So the guy's friends was telling him, you don't need to respond to that, like, you ain't doing blah 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 blah. He's like, no, I do need to respond, because I work with these group of guys and those are my friends as well, and this is probably not how they eat, but that's a part of their income. So he had to address it. So it was not only affecting his friend, but it was a trickling down effect. So
It's a tough situation to be in.
Very tough. Very, very, very.
well,
I just can't imagine. Like I can't. I guess it is. I mean, it just goes with so many different things because it's like you in a situation to where you have a friend that did something. You want to be there for them, but by you being there for them, it could ruin your career as well. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's like, but
Look at Nicki Minaj and her brother.
Oh yeah,
I'm not. What happened? I don't know. About,
he raped the little girl, I think.
He was convicted for raping a little girl. She lost a lot of fans behind that.
But like she didn't rape the little girl. Like that's what I don't be understanding.
But she was supportive of him, and so it seems like, and this is why it's a tough situation because to her,
that's her brother.
That's her brother, and she believes that he's innocent if he say he innocent.
Right.
But to the rape victim and the rape victim family and to the world, it's like you are supportive of a rapist, regardless if it's your brother or not.
That's because they double standard. Because had it been them, then it would be okay. But because she is who she is, it's an issue.
If we in the court of law and they got enough evidence, no, that's even because sometimes they have enough evidence and the people still be innocent.
Hold on. So he did do it?
Yeah. Well, he was convicted of it.
He was convicted.
So it was like really, we don't know if he did it or not. He was convicted, but I mean,
but nobody. That's what everybody though. That's what all the rapists.
No, that's true too. But sometimes they be having they have enough evidence to show because they have the DNA or, something from that person. Now, if it's to that point where you got all of that, when it comes to the case, then I'm like, yeah, I need to back up. But if you don't have nothing to prove that my close friend or family member or whoever did this, it's like, then what can you know what I'm saying? What can you go off of? But I mean, I don't know. It just depends.
But then sometimes people are looking at it as like, I don't know that person. I know my brother, my nephew, my cousin, whoever, for who they are. I don't know this person that y'all are saying this he became, or he raped this person, or he did this. I don't know that person. So I really can't. It's like, in a sense, it's like you don't really put yourself in that type of situation to see it that way because you know who this person is from your aspect only.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably how she sees it. Like, I know who my brother is, who I grew up with. He ain't never do nothing to me, so
So what about R. Kelly?
The parents knew. I ain't with it. Like, no.
Y'all think he was like making
R. Kelly.
He did a whole lot of what they say he did, and I believe that the parents were aware of what was
the
going on.
girls was a part of it. The parents was a part of it. The girls wanted to be there. Them girls wanted to be there.
This take us back to the original conversation when it's like, why does it take so long? Because when we was kids and that video released of him peeing on that little girl, why ain't nobody believe it then? And that was for our eyes.
Yeah, he didn't get convicted of it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why did it? We saw it.
Right, but look now. Do we believe it now? Look how many other stories, because it was one single story, maybe two.
I believed it back then. I was just like, oh, why she let him pee on her?
I ain't even honestly, when it was going down, it was like a situation that was talked about and then left.
And they wiped it off. But that's what I'm saying.
That's because he had that long money back then. Now he ain't got the money to make it disappear.
Hey, you know what? Social media plays an effect on a lot of stuff that happens when it comes. Because think about it. stuff that we don't know about, stories that we never heard about. Once it hit social media,
It's over.
It's over. And so then it becomes, people start digging about who was doing the case, who didn't do their job, who, and then that's how it becomes a big thing. But at first, social media wasn't as heavy, so it was like they could talk about it on the news, and you ain't gonna hear about it no more if they don't say nothing else about it.
Absolutely.
Maybe on MTV or BET, something like that, but it wasn't like on social media.
Where the people keep on keep talking about it.
That goes to it's similar, different cases though. Alexis, remember the conversation about that Instagram page, the Murder Mayhem page on Instagram, and we were talking about like all of that stuff that's going on. That these people are catching this stuff on videos. I'm talking about dead bodies laying places, all this stuff going on, but it's not being reported on the news. So if it wasn't for social media, we wouldn't have no idea about about all of that stuff that's going on within the city.
It's the same thing. Social media is the new platform.
That's it.
Social media is the platform for everything.
And that's what make it a lot harder for people to be able to, if you were innocent or not accused, if you were accused of something and you were innocent, that's what make it so much harder for you to get your image back, because it already been destroyed and dragged through the mud because of social media. You look at it, social media could be a good thing and then it could be a bad thing.
Yep. Look at Carol Baskins. They about to investigate sis now. She was living good for a while. Now
I gotta watch it. I haven't even seen it.
Everything you do in the dark comes to light, baby.
They about to get her because she was living like free for a long time. Then they done put her on social media. It's a wrap now.
I haven't even seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it now.
Carol Baskins.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I keep hearing her name though, and them tigers.
Yes, she fed her husband to the tigers, sis, and now they ain't found. He was missing. They ain't found him, and then they released this Tiger King thing, and everybody realizing that it's a possibility she fed him to the tiger. It's all over social media. Then once it hits social media, now the investigation they want to reopen the investigation about where he at.
This was smart.
But if she fed him to the tigers, how they gonna find out where he at?
Says I guess they gotta go question. They gonna do something. Sis.
Question the tigers.
Did you eat human?
I don't know what they gonna do. Sis.
They probably can swab the tiger mouth to tell if they ate human flesh.
That tiger probably dead. When did this happen?
It was years ago.
Right. Like, how they gonna find out what tiger it was?
Yes, it's 2020. They got stuff for everything. That's just like how they can find out if somebody. I mean, when they get suspects from 20 years ago that did serial killing in 1982, they be finding out.
They gonna find out.
I guess they're gonna go around picking up feces and testing it for DNA because I don't know how else they're gonna find out.
That's crazy.
Hey, she was smart as shit feeding them to the tigers.
Right. She ain't getting caught.
No face, no case, no body, no trial.
We ain't no good for that.
So, well, ladies, it was great talking to y'all.
It's a while to get it together.
Right.
It took us a little minute. Took us a little minute, but we back.
I know, finally got it together.
Well, it must be.